The proposed budget for July 2025 through June 2026 reflects our growth as a congregation. The proposed budget shows increases in 4 areas: staff, costs related to a second service, costs related to inflation, and finally, the expanding work of ministries to our community. Our staff work hard to coordinate our ministry at Faith. In recognition of that work, the Council is proposing a 5% raise for all 4 staff members starting January 1st. In addition to the base 5% raise, we are also proposing an additional 5% raise for our Director of Worship and Music, Luke Nicolay, whenever we begin a second worship service. While all the staff will have increased responsibilities with a second service, Luke will take on the most additional work through his role overseeing all worship leaders and musicians. We are grateful for our faithful musicians who give freely of their skills as an offering to God. Sometimes, in Luke's absence, we pay individuals to lead music. For special services like Christmas and Easter, we also hire additional musicians to help us express the grandeur of God's work. As we increase the number of services, we recognize that we will need to pay more for these substitute musicians. The total increase to the budget for all staff wages comes to $12,331.76. Raising staff salaries also means an increase to staff benefits, such as Social Security and retirement contributions. This, combined with an increase in medical insurance costs, means our budget for staff benefits will also increase by $9,196.56. This past year, I challenged members of the congregation to prayerfully consider increasing their tithe to Faith Lutheran by 0.5% of their income as they pursue a biblical tithe of 10%. Faith Lutheran is practicing what I preach by increasing our congregation's contribution to the larger denomination by 0.5% of our budget, meaning an increase of $3,100. There are several areas where more members and increased use of our facilities combine with inflation to increase our budget. These mostly appear in the categories of business finance and facilities management and maintenance. You'll see increased bank charges and tithely charges, reflecting the small amount that the credit card companies take from online giving. As more people give online, this number increases. The cost of paper, postage, printing, and software have all gone up. Our custodial service has increased its prices. And like for each of our homes, the cost of insurance and utilities continues to increase. This means that in business finance, we are proposing a total increase of $3,965. In facility management and maintenance, we propose an increase of $6,840. We pay composers and publishers royalties to play music and worship. We also purchase supplies like candles, communion wine, and baptismal certificates for worship. As we look to add a second service, we expect a modest increase to worship and music of $1,200. Every month, we feed people staying at the Torres shelter. The number of people who stay at the Torres shelter has increased significantly in the past couple of years, at the same time that the cost of food has increased. This, in addition to materials that we use for fixing up schools and God's work our hands, would add $3,150 to our social ministry budget. We aren't just serving the wider community. Our equipping ministry helps members of faith identify their spiritual gifts and put those gifts into service for God's kingdom. Throughout the year, equipping ministry holds events like Rally Day and All Saints Day to celebrate the ministries at Faith and the people who do them. Equipping Ministries hopes to expand the ways in which they invite people into ministry, and this is reflected in a proposed $2,500 increase to their budget. In total, the Council proposes a 7% or $42,433.32 increase to Faith Lutheran's operating budget. With 2 months to go in our current fiscal year, Faith Lutheran is solidly in the black, with your generous offerings exceeding our expenses by over $27,000. This, combined with steady growth in worship attendance, gives us confidence that we can meet this proposed budget that invests in our dedicated staff and expands our ministry and service to the community as we answer Christ's call to be a community reflecting God's love with a place at the table for everyone.